To K24 this morning. My name is Jeff Motte. Of course, we're talking about the Deputy Governor's puzzle and trying to solve it right here on the show. 15 minutes to go on this particular conversation, and don't forget, this will be day 2 of the K24 Crystal Ball. We'll be talking to different experts right through the month of January on their predictions for 2021. Today it's all about work and employment and where we go from there for this year. So stick around for that later on K24 this morning. But of course, right now I have Deputy Governor Maliti, Deputy Governor Ngoge in studio, and Justice Minor on Skype, of course, talking about this particular issue. Justice, I'll come to you on this one because, like you've said, it's a tricky balance on this role of Deputy Governor. Is the ultimate solution to make sure that we amend this particular article, and from there, then a Deputy Governor can be free to go and dispense their duties to the fullest without having to be worried how it's perceived by their boss?
The other challenge that I've seen the Deputy Governors have not mentioned is that, some of these friends of the governor were fairly, junior officers in the national government, but suddenly they have become very senior people in the county government, and they are CEOs, they are directors, and have got the direct ear of the governor. And suddenly people have never exercised authority over anyone. In the arrangement of the county government, they become very senior people with a lot of influence, people with a lot of authority, people with a lot of power. And these are the characters who then, as much as the Deputy Governor Machakos talked about some governors, going behind the pack of the governors to maybe, Romamonga, the greatest challenge is the characters between the governor and the deputy governor. In between are fellows who spread rumors, sometimes cooked rumors about the deputy governors, because these are very, very powerful people with authority, with influence, and they'll make sure that they make sure that between the deputy and the governor, there is no, and they have the capacity. Because these are some of the fellows are the fellows the governor themselves use in wheeler dealing. These are the people who sign some document. These are the people who make sure that the governor, friends of the governor, get tenders. These are the fellows who will ensure that the governor get his allowance on time. And therefore, if this is not addressed, because some of these fellows with influence, with powers, have never exercised those powers in government, will ensure whether the deputy governor sits pretty, there will be a problem. Whether the deputy governor tries to execute the mandate, there will be a problem. So I don't believe what the deputy governor Machakos cures the malady. As long as in the county government, the governor is allowed to hire relatives who are less qualified to be directors, to hire relatives who have never been to any position of authority to be very senior in government, people who don't know the difference between being a government officer and being a villager. Some of these people were just in the village. So they came with the mentality of a villager to government and continue spreading malice and rumors in the corridors of the county government. And if that is not cured, because I worked in county government for 2 years and I realized county government have become the citadel of rumors and gossip. That must be addressed. Secondly, and you'll be surprised to know, some of the present governors who were previously deputy governors, and as a result of the demise of the government, today are mistreating their deputies. As some of the deputies who inherited some of these positions from some of the governors who became governors today, they used to complain when they were deputy governors. Today, they are bullying their deputies. I think there's a problem with power. There's someone who wrote a book. He called St. Augustine, and he said the human mind is there's something about libido dominante, the desire to dominate. Once somebody ascends from the position of the deputy governor to the position of a governor, he perpetuates the same vices he used to complain about over their deputy governor, and that is the tragedy.
Could see you nodding as well. I think today Justice Minor is really speaking to the issues of a deputy governor. What's your reaction to what he said in terms of, it seems like there's a lot of power broking that goes on in the background, and that really is for every deputy governor's biggest challenge, trying to get the ear of your boss, because there are so many people who are there.
True. That is very true. That's why I was nodding. There is now that theory that was created that the relationship between a governor and a deputy are not very good. The society tends to take like this, and all the officials that are in the county tend to take it like this. So they are the officials that just want to spoil for you. They are also the enemies behind the government in place that would want to spoil the government or would want to fight the governor. So the entry they use is this theory that the deputy and the governor don't relate well.
Right.
So they will always come in between the two. Those who come with a lot of gossip, that is too much.
Okay.
Gossiping with the governor, telling the governor so much about the deputy that is not even there.
Right.
The enemy is the same. Those who want to fight the government will try to come in between the two.
Right.
So that the deputy is seen as the one fighting the governor.
Okay.
Because it's that theory. And even the governor, when the governor will hear the deputy is part and parcel of this, he believes.
Okay.
They try to believe in it. So there is a lot of that. A lot of many people tend to create the division.
Right.
Now it all falls onto the governor on how they take the issues and how they perceive and how they will relate with their deputy governors to save their leadership, because it can be used also to make them fail. Okay. Yes.
Engineer Maliti, I'll come to you with a conversation that has been at the fore for quite a while. And this is a proposal in the BBI. We want to have, zebra candidates. If the deputy governor is female, the governor is male. If the governor is, female, deputy governor is male. What do you think about that?
Personally, I don't agree with that proposal because it doesn't matter whether the governor is of the opposite gender. What is most important is whether these two people can be able to work together and deliver for the people. I think the question of balancing the gender was coming in so that we can promote more women into leadership. Right. I think that's what was that was the motivation behind proposing that if the governor is a male, then the deputy governor should be of the opposite gender. I think that was the prime motivation. Otherwise, for me, what you need is a competent person to be the deputy of the governor.
Okay.
Or the competent person as the governor.
Okay.
So that you can be able to deliver for the people.
And what do you think the solution would be in terms of getting more women into leadership? If that doesn't do the trick, what do you think?
One, I think we should be able to encourage more women to come to vie for these positions. One of the factors I think that affect women is our culture, African culture. I think there are some ethnic cultures where maybe women are not allowed to take up leadership positions. And I guess that is why from certain regions we may not be able to get women as members of parliament, women as senators, women as governors, and so forth. I think that is an issue we must be able to address to ensure that we have more women participating in leadership in government.
Okay.
Yeah.
The beauty about it is that we do have a deputy governor who is a lady.
Yeah.
What's your take on that particular proposal from the BBI?
I was even worried you not let me talk on, on this issue.
We need your input on that, especially that one.
You really need it.
Yeah.
And I want to say that besides promoting women leadership and adding their numbers, there are a lot more advantages over this that I want to disagree with my colleague here.
Go right ahead.
You know, men and women are treated differently. They have different strengths and weaknesses. And according to my experience now as a deputy governor, I really value the relationship where we have a man and a woman because they complement each other on their strengths and their weaknesses on service delivery. There is a lot more a woman will do that a man may not do, though both of them are leaders. But I really value the complementing part of it.
Right.
And also, this issue of the relationship of the deputy and the deputy and the governor, when the two genders are there, it can be more smoother and more harmonious than when the two men are in the office.
Right.
And I want to state when the two men are in the office, or even when two women are in the office. I would value the relationship when there are two genders. And the way they meet the needs of the citizen of the county is different when the two sexes are there. Right. And I've seen a difference in Kiabu County, and you can see the difference, starting with the peace that we have in the county than the way it used to be. Number two, the service delivery, which now we are totally focusing on more than the fights that have already been there.
Okay, just as I want to bring you in on this one as well, from where you stand, is that part of the solution we need to think about going forward in terms of county administration and balance it out between the genders at those two top posts?
No, I don't entirely agree, because that is more of guided democracy. It's you see, the problem with Kenyans is that it's either we want democracy or we want monarchy. I don't know, because democracy is about the freedom either to choose, a governor who is a female and a deputy governor is a female to run a county, or a governor who is a male and a deputy governor is a male to run the county, or a governor who is a male and I think this is more of guided democracy, rotational. You see, the problem with Kenyans, I don't think we are mature enough for this. I'm sorry for a better word, shenanigans, because we seem to be bringing in a lot of variables. The next time it would be, we need an old man and a youth. The next time, a lot of variables. And I think we are not going to cure the challenges bedeviling this nation with a lot of variables. Look, when you hear, like when the president said we need, Kikuyus and the Kalenjins have had their share, so we need to rotate. That is one variable. The next variable, somebody will come and say, the president was an SDA, so this time we need a Muslim. We bring in variables and we are not going to cure the challenges bedeviling this country. We only need leaders. If we have a governor who is a male and a deputy who is a male, and he delivers, and he knows that in his county there are male and females, and he needs to, efficient service delivery, it doesn't matter the gender. The gender in service delivery is it should be, and it should have been, an irrelevant consideration. We need men and women who can, provide service irrespective of their gender.
Honest to very quickly.
And ultimately, maybe my closing remarks. I want to say that the relationship between a governor and a deputy governor, there is no legal requirement for the governor to, give responsibilities to a deputy governor. But there is the ethical and the moral, responsibility bestowed upon the governor to ensure that his deputy or her deputy is well, is given some responsibilities. So it's not a legal mandate. But I think as a government, as a senior government officer, I think there is need for the governors morally and ethically to ensure that their deputies are given responsibilities, their deputies are respected within the echelons of county government, their deputies are consulted, and that more than a legal requirement is an ethical and a moral obligation.
I want to bring it to studio very quickly. We have a minute to go. I want your parting shots, Deputy Governors. Let me start with you, Dr. Ngoge. What's your parting shot this morning?
I want to tell the governor and the deputy governor, let's improve our relationship and focus more on serving our people without looking at issues of threats. This is threatening one another. Let's assume and ignore the other members with their rumor mongering, but focus and join hearts together so that we focus more on development and serving our people. And I will not fail to say that may the BBI pass. May this pass that two genders should be in this position.
Okay, we'll wait and see what happens when it gets to the ballot. Engineer Maliti, your closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you. My parting shot is on what is currently happening in the country. There is a narrative of Aslas versus dynasties. And for me, I think it's a very dangerous narrative. Because we have seen what is happening in the country. I think a lot of youths are being indoctrinated to believe that those who have because they have either stolen from those who do not have, or they have, I don't know. Okay. That, I want to say that narrative is very dangerous, and we need to tone it down. And perhaps those of us who are not in the Asla narrative, we need to provide also our narrative to counter this Asla narrative, because I think those who are propagating this Asla narrative have really pushed it into the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic stuff. I think that's why we leave it as far as this conversation is concerned. Thank you so much, Engineer Francis Maliti, Deputy Governor Machakos, for making time this morning. Asante sana. Dr. Joyce Ngoge, Deputy Governor Kiambu County, thank you so much for your time this morning. And Justice Minor, our governance expert, joining the conversation via video link. Asante sana for your time. Thank you so much. I want us to shift gears now to our series that we're running up until the end of this particular month, and it's all about the K24 Crystal Ball. Now, we're talking to various experts across their fields on their predictions for 2021. Now, late last year, data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics showed that the country had shed off almost 2 million jobs. This was largely attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, on day 2 of our series, the K24 Crystal Ball, we focus on matters labor. How does it take shape in 2021? What skills are needed for the future? And with Kenya also experiencing a digital shift, how is the Kenyan workforce prepared for this? I spoke to Caroline Njuki. She's the officer in charge of the International Labour Organization in Kenya about the future of work.
Happy New Year to you, Jeff.
And welcome to the K24 Crystal Ball.
Thank you.